Have you ever had one of those days where your mind feels like a runaway train? You want to focus, but your thoughts keep drifting. You want to stay calm, but your emotions pull you into old habits. You want to do the things you promised yourself, but for some reason, you just didn't. I think many of us secretly fear that our mind is in control of us, rather than the other way around, and honestly, that used to be me too. My thoughts felt automatic, my attention felt fragile, and my emotions, they were basically driving Decker. If you've ever felt that way, like your mind has a mind of its own, you're not alone. But here's the good news. You can train your mind, and you can learn to guide it gently, consistently, and powerfully today. We're going to break down 5 practical methods you can use to start taking back control, not in some mystical way, but in a grounded, everyday-lifeway. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your mind runs wild, how to interrupt unhelpful shows how to build mental strengths the same way you build physical strengths, and how to consistently guide your mind instead of being dragged around by it. Let's get into it. 1. Name the mind's pattern before it names youth. First step to controlling your mind is simply recognizing what it's doing. Most people try to control their mind by stop overthinking, stop worrying, stop being distracted. But the mind doesn't respond to force, it responds to awareness. One simple practice I use is something called labeling. Whenever I catch my mind spiraling, I name thepaton. Here's overthinking gain. Here's that guilt loop. Here's the distraction craving. That tiny moment of labeling breaks the automatic cycle. It's like turning on the lights in a dark room. The fear shrinks. The confusion fades. And suddenly, there's enough space to choose what to do next. Mini story. A friend of mine used to struggle with panic spirals while studying, and suddenly his mind would flood with, what if I'm not good now? What if I fall behind? We practiced labeling together for a week. Every time his anxiety spiked, he'd pause and say, "This is just my mind trying to protect him, not fight it, just name it." He told me later. It felt like the panic lost its superpower. That's what awareness does. Pitfall to avoid. Don't turn labeling into judgment. You're not saying, "Ugh, I'm overthinking." You're saying, this ice overthinking, neutral, gentle. Observant. 2. Change the environment, and the mind will follow. We often blame our lack of control on mental weakness, when the real issue is the environment we're sitting in. If your phone is busy, if your desk is, if you're working where you sleep, or relaxing where your mind doesn't stand a chance. A lot of people don't realize this, but your environment shapes your thoughts long before your discipline ever gets involved. Whenever I feel my attention slipping, I don't start with my thoughts, I start with thorough. Example, if I'm struggling to focus, I'll physically clear my desk. Sometimes I'll move to a different chair, or change the lighting, or put on a single playlist I only use for deep work. It sounds simple, but it's shockingly effective, because when the environment supports you, your mind doesn't need to fight, it just follows. Pitfall to avoid. Don't try to build the perfect environment before taking action. Perfection becomes another distraction. Just make one small change. Then start. Point 3. Train attention. Like a muscle, most of us expect our attention to magically stay strong, even though we never train it. That's like expecting to run a marathon without ever jogging. Here's that. Attention is a muscle, and you strengthen it through small, consistent trips. One of my favorite exercises is the 1-minute focus drill. Here's how it works. Set a timer for 1 minute. Focus on a single object. Real breath. A candle, a wall, whatever. If your mind wanders, which it will, gently bring it back. Every time you bring it back, that's 1 a rep. That's the muscle growing. I used to think this was too simple, too beautiful, until I realized that after a week, my brain felt noticeably steadier. Mini story. I once challenged myself to do 5 1-minute sessions per day. Just 5 minutes that week. My work blocks felt smoother. My thoughts felt less messy. And I wasn't jumping between tasks as much. It wasn't magic, it was training. Pitfall to avoid. Don't judge yourself for drifting. The drift is the workout. Bringing your mind back is the rep. 4. Instead of fighting them, trying to control your mind by subtracting is like trying to hold a beach ball underwater. The stronger, it pops back up instead. Learn the skill of reframing, changing the meaning of a thought so it loses its power. Let's say you catch yourself inking. I always mess things up. Instead of trying to delete the thought, you reframe it. No, I don't always mess things up. I've handled difficult situations before. This is just my brain exaggerating. Another example. This is too hard. Reframe. This is challenging. But I've done hard things. Bore reframing trains your brain to see things accurately instead of catastrophic ally. Mini story. I used to get really frustrated when I wasn't productive. I'd think, you wasted the day. You're falling bent. But reframing changed everything. Today didn't go as planned, but this is a chance to reset, not a failure. Suddenly, the shame evaporates, and I can actually get back on track. Pitfall to avoid: don't use jogger coding. Reframing is about truthful perspective, not fake positivity. 5. Build small wins that teach your mind. You're in charge. Here's a secret nobody talks about. You don't control your mind through motivation. You control it through vividness. Your brain believes what you prove to it. If you I'm going to wake up early, but hit snooze 5 days in a row, your brain stops trusting you. If you say, I'm going to focus, but keep switching tasks, your brain expects you to fail. So instead of setting huge, you build small wins, tiny promises you actually keep. 4. Example, drink 1 glass of water as soon as you wake up. Read for 2 minutes before touching your finito, 5 minutes off stretching. Right. 1 sentence in your journal. They're so small they're almost impossible to fail. But each tiny win is a message to your brain. I follow through, I'm in control. You can trust, and that trust compounds. Mini story. There was a phase where I couldn't stick to anything. Every habit I tried fell apart after a few days. So I started ridiculous 1 push-up per day, just 1 dot. And it worked not because 1 push-up changed my body, but because it changed my identity. It reminded me I can show up. From there, everything got easier. Pitfall to avoid: don't skip the small win phase because it feels silly. Skipping it is how you stay stuck. Master small wins and you unlock bigger ones. So, let's bring everything together. If you want to control your mind not through force, not through guilt, but through clarity and consistency, here's what to remember. Label your mind's patterns. Awareness breaks the automatic loop. Shape your environment. Control the space. Gain control of the mind. Train your attention. 10 reps. Build long-term focus. Reframe. Instead, off suppressing hang the meaning. And the thought lose power. Stack small wins. Teach your brain that you follow through. You need simple systems that nudge your mind back into your hands. If you've been feeling like your mind is running Thejo, I hope these tools give you some hope and something practical to start with today. Try just one of these methods for the next 2-4 hours. Notice how even a tiny shift can make your thoughts feel clearer, your emotions feel steadier, and your actions feel more intentional. And if you found this, you know what to do. Like the video, subscribe for more content, and let me know in the comments which method you're going to try first. Because once you learn to guide everything else in your life becomes